Okay, hello everyone. I'm Manju Sharma from Suresh Kanvyar University, School of Agriculture. During last class, we were talk about biological control or disease management by biological things and how we can control the disease by using the living things. After that, today we are going to discuss about plant growth promoting rhizobacteria, that is PGPR. P, plant growth promoting rhizobacteria. Rhizo is root, okay, and bacteria microorganism. So basically the bacteria which are present in the sphere of the or the space which covered by the root or the bacteria, those are present in the roots. So rhizosphere bacteria that favorably affect plant growth and yield of commercially important crops are designated as plant growth promoting rhizobacteria. That means the bacteria, those will be promote the growth of the plant, and those are living in the roots of the plant. Basically they will call as rhizobacteria. Okay, and these are commercially important crops which are designated as plant growth promoting rhizobacteria. So the growth promoting ability of PGPR is due to their ability to produce the phytohormones. Phyto word here we are using for the plants or hormones which secrete by the plant. So phytohormones, like the hormones, those are secrete from the plant. They will be called as phytohormones. Siderophores, hydrogen cyanide, HCN, chitinase, volatile compounds or antibiotics which will reduce infection of host through phytopathogenic microorganisms. So basically the growth promoting ability of plant growth promoting rhizobacteria which produce the phytohormones, and these all things which will be reduce the infection of host, like due to these hormones, volatile compound, etc. Basically the pathogen which can't cause disease and can't cause the severe disease, because these are the agents. Okay, so many bacterial species like Bacillus subtilis, Pseudomonas fluorescens, etc. are usually used for the management of plant pathogenic microbes. So basically these bacterial species which we use for the management of plant pathogenic microbes. Like here we are using the microorganism to reduce the infection or to reduce the disease. So there are some important bacterial species by which we can promote the growth of the plant. Okay, that's why we can consider them as a biological method, because in this method we are using the microorganism against the microbes, okay, which cause the disease in the plants. Bacillus has ecological advantage as it produces endospores that are tolerant to extreme environmental conditions. That means the bacillus which has an advantage, like it will be produce the endospore, like endospore or exospore, two terms are there. So endospore which produced by the bacillus and that are tolerant to extreme environmental conditions. That means like any type of conditions will be there. In that case, the bacillus which will be easily survive there or easily tolerant. Tolerant, that means if extreme condition will be there and the condition will be very severe condition will be, in that case the bacteria like the bacillus those easily survive. Okay. Then Pseudomonas fluorescens have been extensively used to manage soil-borne plant pathogenic fungi due to their ability to use many carbon sources that exude from the roots and to compete with mycoflora by the production of antibiotics, HCN, and siderophores that suppress plant root pathogens. That means like the Pseudomonas fluorescens which will be extensively used to manage soil-borne plant pathogenic fungi like the Pseudomonas fluorescens which can overcome the effect of the fungi or basically it will be control the fungi because they have the ability to use the many carbon source. So if they will use the carbon source then there will be competition between fungi and particular bacteria. Okay. That's why they exude from the roots and to compete with the mycoflora because whenever if competition will be there between two species then only one will be survived because the all types of nutrients those are required for both the species, so only one will be get the benefit and the another species which will be gets the harm. So in competition only one will be winner. So there will be the lack of the nutrients and by which only the one species those can easily survive there. Okay. That's why like the Pseudomonas fluorescens which will be compete with the fungi and it will be take all the nutrients those are also required for the fungal growth. That's why we can manage the disease by using this species so that suppress the plant root pathogens. Because if more nutrient availability will be there, in that case the fungus will be grow very fast. But if there will be the lack of the nutrients, in that case we can reduce the growth of the fungi. Okay. Now, plant quarantine. We already discussed about what is plant quarantine, but today we will discuss about detail. Like plant quarantine is defined as a legal restriction on the movement of agricultural commodities for the purpose of exclusion, prevention, or delaying the spread of the plant pest and diseases in uninfected areas. That means plant quarantine, we can say that there will be a legal restriction because there are many agencies those regulate these process. So legal restriction on the movement of agricultural commodities for the purpose of exclusion, prevention, or delaying the spread of the plant pest and diseases in uninfected areas. Like if a disease which is basically only for in a particular area, then we have to quarantine. Okay, by which the movement of the pathogen which causes the disease, it will be restricted and it should not be transported from one place to another place or from one area to another area. Because if a disease which is specified only for a particular area, then we have to apply the quarantine. That's why there is a legal restriction for the movement of the agricultural commodities. For example, like any disease which is basically occurs only in Jaipur or only in Rajasthan, okay, then there will be the legal restriction that the particular crop in which the disease is occur, it should not be transported from the particular area to other area. Okay, that's why and by using the plant quarantine, we can manage the disease. So brief history, like the plant quarantine laws were first enacted in France in 1660, which followed by Denmark in 1903 and in USA 1912. For example, like nowadays COVID cases are there, okay, and suppose that if any patient is there, COVID patient is there, then first of all we are doing the particular patient quarantine. That means only the person which will be live alone and it will be separate from the society or from their family members, okay, because the situation is pandemic. So there is the also restriction for the patient that he can't go anywhere, okay, so that is called quarantine. So these rules were aimed at the rapid destruction or eradication of Barbary bush, which is an alternate host of Puccinia graminis triticale. So in India, plant quarantine rules and regulations were issued under Destructive Insect and Pest Act, that is the DIPA, in 1914. So in India, plant quarantine stations are in operation by the Directorate of Plant Protection and Quarantine under the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Government of India. Okay. So the plant quarantine measures are of three types, like domestic quarantine, then foreign quarantine, and then total embargoes. Okay. So first thing is the domestic quarantine. And what is the domestic quarantine? Domestic quarantine, like rules and regulations. Rules and regulations which should prohibit the movement of insects and diseases and their host from one state to another state in India is called the domestic quarantine. That means here we are talking about at the state level. Right? All the rules and regulation which will be prohibited diseases and their host from one state to another state, like the particular pathogen which cause the disease in the plant and the other host on which the same pathogen which can feed. Okay, so prohibiting or the restriction from one state to another state in India, like we are talking about at a domestic level. Okay, only here we are talking about within the country or inter, or it will be only in India or from one state to other state. So that is domestic quarantine. Domestic quarantine in India exists for two pastes like rooted scale and Sanjo's scale, and three diseases like bunchy top of banana, banana mosaic, and wart of potato. So basically, these diseases which occurs only in some state. Okay. So we have to restrict, and there will be restriction for the movement of the particular bananas in which the diseases occur. Okay. So for example, like bunchy top of banana, it is present in Kerala, Assam, Bihar, West Bengal and Orissa. Okay. So restriction for the movement or for the transportation of the banana except these states. That means transport of any part of Musa species excluding the fruit is prohibited from these states to other states in India. Okay. Only the movement of the bananas, it will be only in Kerala, Assam, Bihar, West Bengal and Orissa. Because these diseases which occur only in these states, that's why there will be restriction. So that is called domestic quarantine. Okay. Then banana mosaic disease, it is present in Maharashtra and Gujarat. So transport of any part of Musa species excluding the fruit is prohibited from these states to other state in India. Okay. Wart of potato, it is endemic in Darjeeling area of West Bengal. Therefore, seed tubers are not be imported from West Bengal to other state. That means the potatoes which are producing there, if they will be infected with the disease, then the seed tuber which will be not transport except the particular area. Okay, the transportation only will be there. So that is called domestic quarantine, because here we are managing the disease by restriction of their transportation within a state. okay, or only in a state level. After that, foreign quarantine. Foreign quarantine, like rules and regulations issued prohibiting the import of plants, plant material, insects, and fungi into India from foreign countries by air, sea, and land. That means here the restriction will be, or the rules and regulation which will be prohibiting the import of plant material, insects and fungi into India from the foreign countries. So here we are talking about at a national level, or the transportation will be from other country to from one country to another countries. Suppose that any disease which is only occurs in India but not everywhere in the world, and it's not in foreign countries. In that case, there will be rules and regulation for the prohibiting the movement of the any plant material, any plants, insects, fungi, etc. They will be don't transport from India to another country, or if any disease which is occur in other countries like in foreign countries, then also rules and regulation will be same. Okay. So foreign quarantine rules may be general or specific. General rules aim at the prevention of introduction of pests and diseases into a country, whereas that means like the rules aim at prevention of introduction of pests and diseases into a country. So it will be specific only for a country. Like if domestic quarantine is there, then the quarantine which will be specifically for the state. So the plant materials are to be imported only through the prescribed plant material are to be imported only through the prescribed ports of entry like airport. So Bombay, Calcutta, Madras, in bracket the name of the airport, okay, New Delhi and Tiruchirappalli, and the seaports are like Bombay, Calcutta, Trivandrum, Madras, Cochin and Dhanushkoti, and the land frontiers like Kharla, that is Amritsar district of Punjab, and Sukhi Pokri, that is Darjeeling district of West Bengal. Okay, so only the plant material which will be important only through the prescribed port of entry. Like only these are the airports, seaports and land frontiers. From there, the transportation will be there or importation will be there. Okay. After that, total embargoes, total restriction on import and export of agricultural commodities, phytosanitary certificate. So it is an official certificate as certificate from the country of origin, which should accompany the consignment, without which the material may be refused from entry. That means total embargoes. So there will be totally restriction for the import and transport, okay, or import and export for the agriculture commodities. There will be a certificate will be given, that is the phytosanitary certificate. Like if any disease which is occurs only in a particular country, then suppose that any disease which is still only in India, then a certificate which will be provided to the India, that is called phytosanitary certificate. Okay, so it will be a official certificate from the country of origin. Only an import will be there, otherwise not. Because without which the material may be refused from the entry. So diseases are not entered into India, like swollen shoot of cocoa, leaf blight of tuber, and many viral diseases, because still these all diseases which occurs only in India, which not occur in India, but they occur in the other countries. So these are the example, like swollen shoot of cocoa, leaf blight, and many viral diseases. So, plant protection milestones in India. So, first is Destructive Insect and Pest Act in 1914, Locust Warning Organization in 1939, Directorate of Plant Protection, Quarantine and Storage in 1946, National Institute of Plant Health Management, Implementation of Insecticide Act in 1958, Waste Management, that is Central IPM Center, and Plant Quarantine Order, online registration of pesticide, and online services, that is PIS. So these all are the milestone in India for the plant protection. And now National Plant Protection Organization. So first will be the Honorable Agriculture Minister, then Minister of State for Agriculture Secretary, Agri and Crop, then Additional Secretary, then Joint Secretary, Plant Protection, like Plant Protection Advisory to me, Plant Protection IPM, and pesticide resignation and quality control. Plant quarantine order. Now, basically, these are classified into different schedule. So the schedule first is the list of entry points. Schedule 4, that is list of planting material whose import is prohibited. Then the list of restricted items whose import require authorization and special condition, plus there will be the declaration. Schedule 6, there will be the restriction items whose import require special condition. Schedule 7, item whose import is permitted which based on phytosanitary certificate. And Schedule 8, there is the list of quarantine weeds, and the Schedule 10 is import permit issuing authorities. So plant quarantine setups are like there are total 35 plant quarantine stations in which 11 international airports, 11 seaports, and the land frontiers are 13 ports. And the land frontier is our 13. Then phytosanitary certification, that is 151 government officers from central state are authorized. Fumigation and treatment, like 375 pest control agencies which accredited for methyl bromide and phosphine fumigation. And 169 forced hot treatment which provided the certificate. So these are the plant quarantine activities. So import is like activity, import permit issued in 2009 to 10, that was 27,759, and in 10-11 it will be 27,053. Plant material inspected and released, it will be in million tons. In 2009 the ratio was like 12.3, and in 10-11 it is increased and then 63.3. Okay, so these all are the plant quarantine activities like import also and export. Import, export are the activities of plant quarantine new initiatives. So there are 22 new plant quarantine stations for service, additional entry points being ISO certification for plant quarantine station for quality service being obtained. Online plant quarantine services which being obtained. Online plant quarantine services which launched in January 2011, and establishment of National Agricultural Biosecurity System NABS on the anvil with new legislation. Now, the plant diseases which introduced in India. So, disease is the late blight of potato. It was introduced in India in 1883. So, before that, the disease was not occur in India, but that time there was not a strict rule and regulation for the export or import of the diseased plant or seeds. That's why it was introduced in India from Europe. Because in Europe, the disease which basically seen during the 1845. Okay. So before that and before 1883, the late blight potato was not occur in India. So next disease is the coffee rust. In 1879, it was in of wheat in 1906. It was introduced from Australia. Downy mildew of grape introduced from Europe. Bacterial blight of rice. Downy mildew of grapes, rice blast, downy mildew of maize, ergot of bajra, Panama wilt of banana, bunchy top of banana, wart of potato, and ultimately golden cyst nematode of potato. So these all the diseases, like there are 12 diseases which not occur in India, but during the last years and before many years ago, the diseases which are basically introduced in India, because before that there was no any type of quarantine system. That's why the diseased part and the disease seed or etc., those will be before that, these all the diseases are not in India. Okay, but during these years the diseases introduced in India, because there was no quarantine, and we can say that there was no any kind of strict rules and regulations to inhibit the transportation of the particular diseases. Okay, that's why we need the quarantine. Like if the disease which is specific only in a state, then we have to stop their import and export. So if we will do during the early stage, then we can protect our crop. Okay, otherwise the pathogen which will be cause the disease. Okay. Now, basically there are some sites, some websites are there. So if you want to more visit about the plant quarantine, then you can go through it. Thank you. Application of biotechnology in plant disease management. In modern terms, biotechnology is defined as the manipulation, genetic modification, and multiplication of living organisms through novel technologies such as tissue culture and genetic engineering, resulting in the production of improved or new organisms and products that can be used in a variety of ways. Genetic engineering is the technology by which it is possible to isolate particular gene from one organism, insert them into the genome of another organism. Cells of plant can be cultured in a special nutrient medium, and whole plant can be regenerated from cultured cells. So this technique of growing plants to in vitro is called tissue culture. Production of pathogen-free plants is through tissue culture techniques. Then, importance in calli derived from infected tissue. Not all cells uniformly carry the pathogen. Only 40% of the single cells mechanically separated from TMV infected tobacco callus contain the virus. The two possible reasons for the escape of some cells of a systematically infected callus from virus infection are, like, first is virus replication is unable to keep pace with cell proliferation, and the next is some cells acquire resistance to virus infection through mutagenesis. Cells resistant to virus at back may even exist in the parent tissue together with susceptible ones. So there several diseases resistant plants have been evolved using somoclonal variation. Somoclonal variation is the variation seen in plants that have been produced by plant tissue culture. Out of 370 tomato plants regenerated from Callus 6 shot resistant to TMV. Similarly, late blight, which caused by Phytophthora infestans, resistant potato plants, and bacterial blight of rice resistant have been evolved. Applications. First is diagnosis of plant diseases, in which, like, diagnostic kits help in identification of plant diseases, bacterial canker of tomato, soybean root rot, viral diseases of potato, etc. So at an early stage of development and helps in devising suitable management practices. Then the B is polymerase chain reaction (PCR), detection of very small amount of pathogen in a sample by amplifying the pathogen sequences to a detectable level, and PCR is especially used in plant quarantine. Strain improvement of biocontrol agents. It has the following advantage, like, first is expanding the range of target species, restricting the range of non-target species to improve the survival ability or rhizosphere competence, expanding the bioagent's environmental range beyond its congenial habitat, and the development of fungicide tolerant strain. Now, the third thing is the transgenics for plant disease management. Sport protein mediated resistant for papaya ring spot virus in Hawaii, Ireland. B is the cloning of resistant genes XA21 bacterial blight resistant gene isolated from African rice Oryza longistaminata was introduced to cultivable rice, that is Oryza sativa. So basically the transgenics for plant disease management. uh, like strain improvement of biocontrol agent, it has the following advantage: expanding the range of target species, restricting the range of non-target species to improve the survival ability to rhizosphere competence, then the expanding the bioagent's environmental range beyond its congenial habitat and development of fungicide tolerant strain. Thank you.